So today we have Aparna with us, and one thing is that today the objective of this meeting is that to eradicate the stigma which prevails in the society about the COVID patients or about the COVID which is happening. So that is the main objective of today's call, and we have Aparna. I am glad to see her, and she has come forward to speak about what experience or what emotion she has gone through in this complete phase. So thanks, Aparna, for taking your time and coming out to speak about it. So I'm so glad about that.
Thank you, Satya. It's a nice platform where I could express, what I've gone through and help people. If my message could help some of them, I think I'd be very happy about it.
So I just wanted to ask, how was your feel when you have first heard that you have got COVID positive, and how was the complete feel from your home? How it was, and that complete journey which I wanted to
Okay, so initially I had fever for a couple of days, and then I did experience every symptom of COVID. I was thinking so many times that okay, let it be dengue, let it be malaria, let it be typhoid, but okay, all it should not be is COVID. I was not,
hear.
uh, because there was a lot of fear about this particular fever, and we also didn't have much of information about it. Although media is saying a lot of information about it, but still, that was even scaring me more. So as soon as I had given my COVID test, I think it took 3 days for them to give the results. And every single day I used to pray, it should not be COVID, it can be anything else.
Yeah.
Right. So that was my mindset. And finally, when I got to know it was positive, like my husband went to collect the report and he called me and told that, okay, look, this is positive. Uh, and I am based out of Bangalore. So
Yeah.
the process in Bangalore is our metropolitan corporation people would come and they would assess the patient and then shift them to another hospital. So I was completely, I wouldn't, until the report came, no, there was a lot of chaos or unrest that was happening within me. And as soon as I got to know positive, for a minute I felt like, okay, fine, this is what I never wanted, but it has happened. And for some time I felt very scared. I would say just say less than an hour or something. I just took some time to be composed about the situation and accept it. Then I think after 1.5 hour, I kind of got settled with it. Okay, now this has happened. So what next? So that was the thing that was running in my mind. And by then, the local health officer started calling me and asking how I was doing and what is the next plan they were suggesting. They were saying that I would be shifted to some hospital. What the BBMP people, whatever they suggest, that's the place I would be going to. So yeah, there was a lot of chaos, continuous calls coming from different people, different health authorities. And then I started calling my friends, some of them who are in the medical field, to see which hospital that I could go and where I could get treated. I wasn't very scared because I didn't have any that kind of a deadly symptoms that that I was like very breathless, or it was not like that. I had all of them, but it was mild. Yeah, it was a very different feeling that I don't want anybody else to experience. I wish people
Got
should not be getting this. Yeah.
got that. But I really appreciate the positive attitude what you had. That is even okay. That minute or some time you take for yourself and understand what's the
Yeah.
next step which I want to do is something which everyone have to take. That else, that
Right.
itself has become a kind of a trauma for many people, which I have
Yes.
heard and I have seen in the news as well. And glad to hear that positive attitude which you're passing for others. And the next question which I would ask is that what are the guesses you made how you have contracted it, right? Virus, because I heard that you have not stepped out, and
Yes.
yeah, that's what my friend was saying.
Yeah.
But so what are the guesses you thought that have contracted it?
Right. So this virus is like, it's, I think it's very, very intelligent and it's very dangerous also. It can come from any form. So for me, I was really surprised, like, how did I get it? Because I had not stepped out of the house, even to get a packet of milk or vegetables. My mother-in-law used to go, somebody from my family used to go. And I was the one who was always inside. They both, I have my mother-in-law and my husband and my father-in-law here. So all of them are doing good, and why is that only I was affected is something that I could not know. I still keep thinking, like, from where could I have contracted? At times I keep mocking my family members, ki it has come from you people only because you were the ones who were going out. But that was on a lighter note. So it can come, a very small touch, or just when I'm going out or in my corridor, or somebody who had the virus positive had sneezed or touched a surface unknowingly, I would have touched it immediately. Like, anyway, the virus also has a lifespan.
Hmm.
In that short span, if I would have touched something,
Hmm.
so maybe that could be one of the source I'm thinking. I still don't know what's the source. And yeah, I think majority of the people, this has been an open question, because
Hmm.
somebody who's not gone out is the one who's being tested positive.
Yeah.
So
Got that, got that. So that is a really a good information for most of the people, because I know many of my friends are panicked and being at home, and now this point of you can still get it, but only thing is you have to be more conscious. Whether
yes.
after that have started washing the milk packets,
Yeah.
all those are kind of a norm in your home, or how is that?
No, ever since this virus, when we got to know, ever since then, we used to be careful. Like, as soon as the milk pack comes, we'll first wash. And then if there is any food that's coming from outside, we'll sanitize. If there are vegetables that we bring from outside, we try and keep it outside for some time and then only take it inside. We were following all of this. So the bottom line would be, however careful you are, there are chances that you may contact the virus, and it also depends on how immune your body is, right? So there could be some people, like I have met people who were COVID positive when I was in the hospital. They had no symptom at all, just because they were primary contacts and they got tested. They were tested positive. Otherwise, if at all a test was not conducted, they would not even know that, they were COVID positive. They're very healthy, not fever, not one even one time they had not coughed or sneezed. So they were all that healthy. So it happens.
Yes. The asymptomatic cases
Yes.
we see today, right? That is
Yes.
the other fortune or boon in a way, I can say, because it is
Right.
not affecting to that level, right? That is something
Correct.
applicable. And next question which I want to ask about that, say about the hospital facility, and because many now it's like the beds are full, and we hear that ICU wards are completely full. So those
Yeah.
are things which we hear at Bangalore now. So,
Yes.
but how about the facility where you were, and in fact about the medical expenses which are incurred? Because the expense is something again a kind of gray area which people are not aware. Also, I
Right.
heard you have taken 6 to 14 lakhs, or even I have seen 24 lakhs have been asked in one of the private hospital, and the government has asked them to give it back. So those
Okay.
are certain kind of mafia, or what I don't know how to describe that.
Right.
So if you can just give certain light on that, it would be good.
Sure. So as soon as I got tested positive, I had a, if the government officials were taking me, they would definitely take me to a government hospital. And I had a very, very bad picture painted in my mind. Government hospital means I would only remember some haunted kind of, not haunted kind of a place, but which is very dirty, very messy. People don't even talk to you type of a place is what I had in my mind. But okay, I had like 4-5 hours before, after my result came in and before I went to the hospital. So in that gap, I think I called up more than 30 hospitals, private hospitals, because I was covered under insurance. And if insurance did not cover me also, I was in a state of mind that, okay, I'll pay for it. No, because I'm going to stay alone. Nobody is going to come along with me. And I didn't want to be in trouble or being scared. So with that mindset, I called it about 30 hospitals. Everybody said beds were full, but when I was tested positive, I think the number of cases in Bangalore itself were like more than just 1,000 or 2,000 was the number. That less was the number. So I'm 100% sure there must have been beds. But yeah, private hospitals also do have a fear, like, if they start accepting COVID patients, then they may not be able to treat other their regular patients, because this is so infectious and it is contagious, right? Even if a person is weak, this virus catches them very easily. So that was the reason probably that all of the hospitals were saying no, our beds are full. And then I had no choice but go to the government hospital, which our BBMP people were taking me to. And I had requested them at least put me in some decent place. They said, look, madam, now everybody is doing their best. We will try and put you in a place whichever is good. And they took me to a hospital called C.V. Raman General Hospital, which is again in Bangalore, Indiranagar area. As soon as I went, I think it took like, we reached there about 7 or 7:30 in the evening, and until 11 o'clock, I did not find a room. they were just making arrangements because that hospital was very recently converted into a
Mm.
COVID care hospital. So they were just arranging rooms and beds, and even the staff also was like very occupied. So finally at 11:30, I found a room and I was settled there. Only the following day, I really had a chance to look around what was there in the hospital and how we were treated. On the morning, we had doctors come and visit us. So the first day that I spent there had completely changed my perception of okay, what a government hospital is. The place was very neat. There were staff who used to clean the hospital, the wards every day in the morning and evening, and the doctors did really take care very well. They really took very good care of all the patients who were there along with me, right? So the first day, then I felt towards the end of first day, I thought okay, fine, I am in a good place, I will be healed and I will go home healthy, right? So that was a positive feel I got. So I, from an expense standpoint, I was so lucky that okay, I got into a nice hospital, I was treated well, and I didn't have to personally pay anything, neither insurance or nothing. I didn't have to pay anything. It was all completely borne by our state government and the aids that they were getting, right? So my case was this. But I would like to mention, yeah, there was another known friend or a friend of friend type of a person who was also infected with COVID, and more or less on the same day we got diagnosed. And that person ended up to be in one of the private hospital, and yes, I think they did pay a huge amount, like some 2.5 lakhs or something, right? So it depends from hospital to hospital, and it also depends on what kind of symptoms you have, right? Somebody who needs the ventilation, somebody who needs oxygen, and who have other complications, yes, I think they may run into higher expenses. But asymptomatic and mildly symptom people may incur less expenses.
Got that. That's really helpful. And even the medical insurance has now started to cover this. Is that
Yes. So insurance is, all the insurances are covering COVID also, but I think there would be certain non-medical. This is common across in any insurance, like non-medical expenses that happens. Like for example, the medical gloves or syringe or such kind of things are not covered generally. Those will not be covered even in COVID, and yeah, that's it.
okay?
So insurance also do covers.
Okay. How is the women's security overall considered? But at least from Bangalore perspective, because I have heard from few states there are for very less number of people, like women who are there, have been kind of they have gone in kind of sexually harassed also, one or two, right? So it's about, so that kind of fear or stigma is always there for every woman. If I go, what would happen? That's another one kind of thing which is always there, right? So
Yes.
it's nice to hear from you.
So, okay, from I can speak from whatever I have experienced, or at least what I have seen in the hospital. Um, there could be in the case where I went through, it was literally no issues at all. Everybody were treated equally, everybody were treated well and with respect, right? So yeah, there could be some places where you would have heard that they were people were harassed or something. So it's, I think all I would say is people should realize that somebody who's sick and come to you for treatment should be treated with love and care instead of taking advantage of that situation. So yeah, it's a mindset change that has to come in people. That's the only thing that we can expect.
But
But
luckily,
that's very unfortunate to hear such kind of scenarios in such a pandemic situation.
yeah, that's really
Yeah.
sick, thought which I was seeing that might be in Delhi where there were almost 1,000 beds which was there. There it has kind of happened.
Yeah.
So that's
So
something which I wanted to say, but still, that's very very minuscule. But still, the women's safety is still much more.
it's very much important. So I think people, if at all somebody has gone through such kind of an experience, it is, instead of being scared about it, or people should bring it into light and see that the person who has misbehaved should be punished or eliminated at least from that zone. That way we can continue to have safety of the people around there.
Yeah, and safety is good in India. That I can say that because
Yes.
that's a very minuscule level which has happened. So
Right.
that's the thing which I want to say. And the other social stigma which I want to ask is that there is a kind of a different picture is portrayed out. Even now, the stigma has not changed much at all, right? So how people were looking at you when they were knowing that you were a COVID patient, and people around, the neighbors around. because that's where the neighbor strength actually comes into picture. But
Right.
that's kind of, now I can see that's really in a different situation, right? So you can share your experience. That would really make many people to be aware and not to make that kind of mistake, mainly for the neighbors.
Yes. So for me, I think it was initially as soon as I got to know my neighbors, the apparently the house opposite to us, they were very helpful. All they told us, look, this is just like a normal fever. It could come for anybody. Just be bold. Everything will be okay. And they did know few people in the department, like the BBMP, the Bangalore Metropolitan Department. So they said, if you want any help, do let me know, and we'll help you out so that you get into a better place. So this kind of help and support that I was offered from my neighbors as well, that is a very good thing. And I also felt confident. But when I was going to the hospital, all I was worried is, how would my family who were at home be treated? Will they get any support from neighbors, or all this kind of things were going on in my mind. So this is a mixed experience. Okay, it depends on the maturity of the people. So some of them were really very caring. They used to send me text messages. Just my neighbors used to send me text messages asking how I was doing, and they're waiting for me to come back soon, like, get well soon and come back home, we'll be happy to have you around. So this was the message that my neighbors were sending, and I was really fortunate on that. But yes, so when I was diagnosed positive, I think in my surroundings, probably I was the first one who really came into light. Maybe there were some cases who just stayed at home, did not even get tested. It could be, but when I was going into the hospital, there was a government ambulance which came in. So everybody was standing out in the corridors to see what is happening and who's the one who's infected. So people were curious. There were many people standing and looking at me. So, but I felt okay, fine. If they're looking at me, it is still okay. I did not do a crime. I just was infected with virus. So all that is what has happened. So people should, stop giving that kind of looks,
Yes.
especially when such kind of a pandemic is going on. It could happen to anybody. One today they're looking at me, tomorrow it could be them who's infected. So yes, there should be a lot of perception change that has to happen in people. And whatever we see on media, right, media is only talking about the numbers of how many people have infected, how many people have infected. Media is not talking about how many people have recovered. If you
Yes.
look at it, so more than 50% of people are recovering. There is a percentage, a very decent number of people who are dying out of this disease. But what I would like to say is, people are not just dying because of corona. So people have corona, along with that they have something else. Maybe they have some other heart problem, they have some kidney problem, liver problem, or it could be anything else. So somebody who has very weak immunity, who has lung issues, yes, their cases are prone to go more serious, and people die. And out of all these death cases that we are seeing, there's a small number, or there's a small portion of people who are perfectly healthy, fit and fine, but they died probably because they did not get medical help on time.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So I did come across one case like that, where the person was sick just only for 2 days, but he developed breathing symptoms, issues on that day morning, and they were looking around to admit him in several hospitals. Both their sons, that man was 60 years old, so their sons were looking out for a hospital. No hospital admitted him, and then he passed away by afternoon just because of breathing issue. Had he been admitted, I don't think he would have been he would have definitely survived out of that situation. So very small people who are fit and fine but not getting medical help is also one of the segment. Yeah. So
But now the capacity is kind of getting increased with respect to the beds in Bangalore. That's what I was hearing about.
yes. So the government and the BBMP officials here are really taking good measures in terms of mandating every hospital to allocate a portion of beds for COVID, because the number of cases are increasing, and the government hospitals also, they do have limitations, right? So everybody, all the hospital, they've also, I heard that they've seized some of the hospitals who've
Yes.
denied to support in this scenario.
Yeah.
So that way people are really doing good.
So next is about the preventive measures which you will recommend for the people, that is, or else the doctors which they have helped you there, right, with respect to
Okay.
the food prescription as well as the medicines what they have. So that would be really helpful for people who can take that preventive actions even if they don't
At,
have
at
corona. You can share that.
Right. So coming to the treatment that I went through, so I did have symptoms like fever, cold, loss of smell, slight breathing difficulty. Basically, the treatment for this is completely symptomatic. Like you're having cold, they give you a tablet for cold. You have fever, they give you fever also. You have both symptoms, they give you tablets for both. So this is how they're treating. For all COVID patients, this is the one single tablet you take and you're cured. That is not the case. Just based on symptom is what they're giving treatment, and it is also very simple, or like paracetamol or some allergy related tablets. That's all we are getting, and some vitamin tablets like vitamin C, zinc. These are the regular vitamins that they had given. And if you want to take care at home and you want to avoid getting COVID, so I would not say that you can do something to avoid COVID. That is not possible. So you may get in contact with it, but all you need to have is that positive attitude ki, even if I am getting COVID, it is very much similar to a normal viral fever.
Mm.
That is all. It is actually viral fever only. There's no specific treatment to it. They give you only symptomatic treatments
Okay.
based on whatever symptoms you have. People who have breathing difficulties, they give them separate medication which will help them ease, basically for asthma or something. People who have, right, they get some kind of medicine. Similar kind of medicine is what people get here. So people should have positive attitude and eat healthy, eat hot food.
Mm.
Try and avoid, whenever we're going out, avoid touching unwanted surfaces, like we're walking on staircase, don't touch the railings. uh, See, they say that use sanitizer as much as you can, but I would say more than sanitizer, doctors tell, this is all what the doctor told me. Okay, when I went and when I was about to get discharged, he said, don't go and touch unwanted surfaces. Every time you go out and come home, wash your hands until your elbow, not just your wrist. So
Oh.
wash it with soap until your elbow, because sometimes we may do like this or something like that. So a virus can, if there is something on your hand, so that much you take care. Eat something which is good, cooked at home, hot meal, and keep drinking a lot of fluids, and include vitamin C and fresh vegetables and fresh fruits.
Mm.
Include all that into your food. If you're doing this much, I think you're very good. And in spite of doing all of this, you still contract the virus, you still be positive, nothing is going to happen. I think most people are more, they have a lot of anxiety. They have a fear that, what would my neighbors think, would people around me look at differently. So okay, in a scenario where you have contacted the virus, don't care anything about what your neighbors think or what your anybody else think, right? So just think of yourself and how you can come out of it. And in my case, I would say, like, I really had a great support, be it from my family. Like every day when I was in the hospital, at one time I used to get calls so many times, morning, evening. My mother, my brothers, my father-in-law, mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, her family, then other relatives of from my husband's side, everyone were calling me to ask how I was doing on a daily basis, morning and evening. So that was really, it kept on motivating me that yeah, there are so many people who love me and who want me to come back home healthy. So this is what anybody who's sick, they need this, right? People should tell them that you will be all right, it is okay, get well soon and come home. This is the message that a sick patient should receive. And if you are somewhere around those people, you try and give the same message to them, that they are loved and they want to see the person get healthy and come home. So if this kind of a support is there, that is wonderful. And even my office, I had tremendous support. All I was told is, you just forget about work, get well soon, how many ever days it is, you get well soon and come back and stay healthy. That's what. So this kind of a support, if people have, I think people will really feel good about it and they will heal soon.
And that's a good message you have spread for the people, what actually they should spread at this point of
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Thanks really for that, because more than the virus, they really get afraid or annoyed about that perception, what people going to think about
yeah,
me. That actually kills a person a lot, I think,
yeah.
from within. There are
Yes,
kind of people who have gone for clinical depression and who have committed suicide, which I have seen in the news, which of late you're seeing a lot about that.
yes,
But there is no point in fearing about it, or just give a damn to people if they're going to think anything about it, because it's just a small virus which you're going to deal with, and
Yes.
still things are going to be perfect for everyone.
Yes. So
And
everybody will definitely get this virus at one point of the time, because you cannot shield yourself or stay at home forever, right? So
yeah,
you will definitely go out, or you will come in contact with somebody who has been infected. So there's nothing that you can do. Just stay positive. I think you will recover very soon. It's like normal fever. That's it. Nothing more than that.
yeah. And how about this Kabashurana powder, which they were recommending in southern India? Even I have
Yeah.
bought one from Amazon, and
Okay.
having once in a week as a preventive method, and even Dabur Chyawanprash, which will help in improving the immunity.
Immune.
As well as from homeopathy, also I have taken this arsenic one.
Huh.
These are the three things which I have just kept for my family.
Right. Right.
So, is that any inputs on that which doctors have told about that, or we can?
So you can take Chavanprash and Kabasur Kudineer. All of these are just trying to boost your immunity, right? So uh, even I had, my family also had ordered Kabasur Kudineer as soon as I was tested positive, and people at home did take that particular kashayam in the morning every day. So all of these, it is not just for corona, right? It is for overall immunity, and I think it is good to always take them. If nothing at all, you can make some nice lemonade every day and drink. That is more tasty and you will like it. Unless you're diabetic, you can add sugar to it and have it, or if you're diabetic, maybe with salt. Enough lemon and vitamin C will really give you a lot of immunity.
Yeah,
So anything that is coming from Ayurveda, I feel it has to be respected, because our ancestors have put in a lot of effort in researching on that area, and it doesn't have any side effects also. Good to take.
yeah,
But again, too much is also too bad, right? Like people, if you continuously have every day for months together, I don't know, maybe you may become immune resistant also. So
that's true.
it's good.
Anything having little, it's always good, not more.
Right. Yeah.
And in fact, all your words have been really helpful because it has given the complete experience of it as well as the stigma what has to be eradicated. Because
Yes.
now this is something which we have just surpassed and have to go on, because
Right.
after any other virus can still come, and
Yeah.
but the mindset is something where we have to really work on taking the preventive or else feedback from this era or this COVID era what we are seeing.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Aparna, for giving this message when a lot of people are still not ready to come and face the
Yeah.
video, or even not ready to speak about that, right? So
So
really wonderful to have you and to have your positive speech about it, which really has to be sent to the reach to people.
thank you so much. It was nice talking to you, and I'm happy if my message helps anybody, right? I would be the person who's the most happiest. Yeah.
So thanks, Aparna. We
Stay
will
healthy, everyone. Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.